see a few people are signed on already to watch, 16 or 17. If you want, you could comment and let me know who you are and where you're from, so I know who I'm streaming to. I see Emma Sloan. Hi, Emma. And Durgesh. Hey, nice to see you. That tune I just played was a great tune by a friend of mine named Jeremiah McLean, a great accordion player. And he teaches at a camp that I teach at called Maine Fiddle Camp, which actually is going to be going remote this year, virtual Maine Fiddle Camp. If you want to learn some great fiddle tunes for cheap or free, check out Maine Fiddle Camp. But okay, so hi, I'm Noah Fishman. I'm playing the mandolin, and you may wonder, why am I sitting in my car? The reason is I'm here in the USA. I'm way out in the countryside of Maine, and the internet is so slow at my own house that I drove over to a friend's house, and I'm using their faster Wi-Fi from a safe social distance from my car. So here I am in the car, and I'm here to teach you all about an old-time tune. Let's see. I see a couple more people commenting on the big screen. Nice. Hi. Great. So, who am I? I'm a musician. I'm a mandolinist. I also play the bass, but can't really fit the bass in the car, so it's mandolin for today. I'm a composer, arranger, improviser, and I was really glad that Ethno reached out to ask me to do one of these Hope sessions because I love learning tunes by ear and I love jamming with people. But with the state of the world as it is, with the pandemic right now, you can't get together and learn tunes from people, and you can't jam with people. So doing workshops like this online is sort of a good substitute. I hope you're sitting there at home with your instrument, because I'm going to teach you a tune that I love to play. Let's see. Hi, Hugh. Hugh, I hope you join us with an instrument, or at least sing along. I've done a couple of ethnos. I did a little bit of the Ethno Sweden. I've been to Sweden a number of times, and love going to Binghustaman and seeing the Ethno Fest there. I've also done the Ethno in Slovenia, and I just love every time I meet someone who has done an Ethno. So let's see. The tune I'm going to teach you today sounds a little like this. I'll play it for you first. The tune is called Fine Times at Our House, and I'm pretty sure it was written by a guy named Edden Hammons in the 1940s. I've got some good links, actually, on this tune that I'm going to copy into the comments section. Edden Hammons was part of a big musical family from West Virginia, sort of the central part of the East Coast in the United States, sort of dipping into the South a little bit. Hammons was part of a big family of farmers and loggers, and as far as I understand it, the whole family has like Anglo-Scottish roots, but also had a lot of interaction with African Americans and Native Americans where they were living in West Virginia. I've got some links here. There's a great link I found through the Library of Congress, actually. It's a whole PDF on every tune that comes out of the Hammons family from West Virginia. That's a good place to check out more about the history of this tune. And here's a couple links on the tune archive as well. Raina Gellert is the person who has really popularized this tune recently. I learned it from a friend of mine named Emily Horn-Jeffries. The reason I'm looking so deeply... oh, hi, Christina. Welcome from Italy. The reason I'm looking so deeply into the history of this tune is that I've really been looking into the history of a lot of the tunes I've been playing. Right now in the United States, so many traditional and folk musicians are looking really closely at the origins of the tunes they play. So much of this music was really stolen from African Americans and Native American traditions, and other tunes like really mischaracterize things about black American culture. And so it's really important right now to go back through the tunes we know and the tunes we've learned as traditional tunes and understand really where they're from. And so this tune, it comes from West Virginia. So far as I know, it comes from a family that was pretty active in the farming and logging world, but I haven't seen really anything, any reason that this tune should be questioned in terms of its playability, so I still am really excited to be teaching it to you. I recorded this tune with my friend Baron Collins Hill. We have an album called Fine Times, and that's the name of this tune. So I'm going to play it a couple times for you slowly now, if you're ready to learn it. And then I'll start breaking it down into pieces. Here's Fine Times at Our House. And please, if you need any adjustments to the volume or if any light adjustments, I'll see what I can do from my end. Here we go. So that's Fine Times at Our House. If you're just joining us, okay, Durgesh says increase the voice a little bit louder. Well, I'll turn up the volume a little bit, and I'm also just going to talk a little louder. I hope that's a little better. Let me know if that is. If you're just joining us and you're wondering why I'm in a car, I have driven to a friend's house, and I'm sitting outside of their house in order to use their fast internet. So if you want to support me, you could get one of my albums on Bandcamp, and I'm going to be passing those proceeds along to those organizations as well. So, without further ado, here is Fine Times at Our House. It's in the key of A, but A mixolydian, so it has a lowered seventh, a natural seventh, a G natural. And if you're playing on a fiddle, you know your lowest note is G, so that's going to come in handy later. So it's an A mixolydian. It's in a 4/4 or sort of a hard-driving shuffle reel feel. And this is the type of tune that would be played at sort of a square dance or a contra dance, a really American folk dance that has roots in the American South. Also has a lot of relationship with blues and music that comes from African American music traditions. I was just reading actually about how a lot of Delta blues, African American Delta blues, has come back around to influence what we think of as traditional folk music in America. So that's pretty interesting. But anyway, so the tune. It starts on the fifth here. That's the first lick. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So we're starting on E and working our way up to A. Finishing out that phrase. So that first phrase goes up and ends up on a C sharp. Three more times. So the second phrase is a bit shorter. So those two phrases together. That's the first half of the A section. If I'm going too fast for anyone, please let me know in the comments. We'll do that one more time, just so you can get it under your fingers. Now the third phrase goes up all the way up to our open E string. And I usually do a slide if I'm on mandolin or fiddle. And we just finish out the A part with da 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 dum dum bum da 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 dum da 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 dum dum dum. So in context, you might notice that I'm giving the feel a lot of swing as I play it slower. Da 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 instead of da 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 dum. As I slow it down, I really emphasize this triplety swing. Da 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 da. And that's really one of the elements that we get from this music being so deeply connected to Delta blues and African American music. Let's do it 2 more times. One more time. That's the A part. Is there anyone who needs any elements of that a little more slowly? Well, you let me know. I'm going to open the car door here because it's very hot in here. I'm pretty close to the ocean where I am, so right now as I open the door, I got a nice cool breeze. And I'm hearing and seeing lots of birds around me, which is quite delightful. I hope wherever you are also somewhere that's delightful and safe. And if it's like here, it's hot too. So no one's commenting, so I'm assuming. Oh, hi Edith, nice to see you. No one's commenting, so I am assuming I'm good to go on to the B part. But if we can revisit the A part later if you need. So the B part starts on a high E. And this one's a bit of a finger twizzler. So first, that's it. Oh, thanks, Durgesh. Hi, Edith. I'll open the door again. As long as that's not backlighting me too much, I'm going to keep that open. You'll just hear the occasional car go by. One, two, three, four. From there, we work our way back down. That's one of my favorite licks in the whole song. So. And there we get a syncopation right at the end of the B phrase. One more time. So that's the first part of the B. Second part goes. And then we get the same syncopation, but a little earlier. And then we work our way back down. So. So the whole B part goes like this. A little faster so you can hear it all strung together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, if you're like me, you've probably forgotten the A part already. Don't worry, I'm here to remind you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the B part. So if you want to play along, I'll speed it up just a little bit. Here's 2 times through Fine Times at Our House. You ready? 1, 2, here we go. One more time. A couple things I'm doing to make the tune pop out a little bit more is I'm giving a lot of emphasis to the offbeat while I'm playing. And on the B part. It's something that helps keep the forward motion going. Now, we've gone all the way through the tune. It's not a very complicated tune. If anyone has any questions about it, please feel free to let me know. But I'll show you a couple things you can do with the tune now. First, it's always good to know the chords of the tune that you're playing. As I said at the beginning, this tune is in A. Some people will call it A modal. You could also call it A mixolydian, which means it's got a lowered 7th. So most of the chords are really just A. So there we get our G natural, which is sort of unusual for something in A major, but not unusual for something in A modal. So A, G, so that's A, D, A. The whole A part is mostly A, 1 G, and 1 D. So there you go. Those are the chords for the A part. If you want to give your accompaniment a little more attitude, you could try doing a chopping type rhythm, which will mean basically long and short. And I always like to emphasize that moment when backing it up, because in the melody it's a nice big pause. That would be sort of a halftime chop feel. This long, short, long, short. You could also go long, short, long, short. So our B part, is basically all A. A will work over everything. Hey guys, some neighbors are just walking by, from a safe social distance. They're at least 20 feet from my car. So you could do a number of things on the B part. You could add in a G chord. G again. And then you could add an E chord. But I just like going back and forth between A and G. A and G are going to be your best friends when playing Fine Times at Our House. So those are some chord and strumming options for you if you're playing an instrument that can play chords or strum. There are also some harmony parts that I've come up with myself that I recorded on my album with Baron. I can show you some of those right now. I won't break them down as much in detail as I did the melody, but because this video will now live on the Ethno World Facebook page, you can come back and learn at your own speed. So if you think about the contour of the melody, the line, so it goes down and then up da-da-ba-bum. I have a couple of harmony parts that map the shape of this melody. One of them starts on the 3rd degree, so that's C sharp. So it sounds like the melody, but just with the notes all shifted over a couple. When causing some audio issues, I will simply close the car door. So here's a harmony part that starts on the 3rd degree, C sharp. And if you're playing a fiddle or mandolin or something where you can play double stops, there's a lot of great 2-note options for this, like to use your open G and D strings. There's one harmony idea. One of my favorites. It's a little bit unusual, stylistically unusual, but it fits really well. Actually starts on the natural 7th degree. So if we're in the key of A here, the harmony part starts on G. And this part, this harmony part that I came up with really excites me for a few reasons. It's really low and kind of greasy down here. And it fits right into the melody like a glove. The parts are really married together. And then with this harmony part, you end up going really high, which has this great old-timey, strident ringing sound. So here's that harmony part one more time. So both of those harmony parts, the one that starts on the C sharp and the one that starts on the G, those have B parts as well. So here's the normal B part. Here's the B part with a harmony that starts on the 7th. There's also one starting on the 3rd. So those are a couple of harmony parts that I came up with that I think really accentuate my favorite parts of the melody. I went through them a little quickly because I don't have a ton of time left, but you can go back through this video and watch to see the parts individually. So we've looked at the melody, we've looked at the chords, we've looked at a little bit of backup, we've looked at harmony parts. There's a couple more things I'll show you. At the beginning, I mentioned that this tune was written by Edden Hammons in the 1940s, or likely someone from that family in West Virginia. It's quite popular and quite stylistic to write and play tunes in the old-time style that are crooked, which means that they have added measures or added beats. In the case of Fine Times at Our House, I like to play it straight. 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars, very clean, easy phrases. But you might more often hear it with a crooked ending on the A part, which is just adding a few notes. And here's the crooked part, etc. So it's adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So it adds one extra beat there, which just goes like this. Which adds a lot if you play it faster too. It gives you a little extra sense of anticipation as you come around for the next part of the tune. So that's crooked. Another thing you can do with it, which is totally not traditional at all, but it's something I love to do with my friend Baron, is we turn it into a jig. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this workshop, Edden Hammons, this guy in the 40s, actually has Anglo-Scottish roots. So it's not too much of a crazy twist to try to retwist the tune into a jig feel, which sounds a little like this. 1, 2, jiggity jig. that's taking some of the notes out and stretching some of the others out in order to make it a more traditional Scottish-Irish jig feel, which is really fun to do. You can even pair them together. And so forth. So we've talked about the tune in old-time style. We've talked about the feel, the swing and the laid-back feeling. We've talked about some harmony parts and some accompaniment parts. Now I think it's time for us to jam. So I'm going to play the tune 4 times through. Now I'll play it 5 times through. On the first 2 times, I'll just play the melody, and you can join me, or you can try some harmony parts. On the 3rd and 4th times through, I'm going to back it up, so you can try to play the tune yourself. And on the 5th time, we will all reconvene and join together. So, here's Fine Times at Our House, 5 times. I'll see you on the other side. 1, 2, here we go. That was 5 times through Fine Times at Our House. I hope you could hang on tight to it and enjoy playing it a few times. I like playing with you too, although I couldn't hear you. I could feel your good energy. So that's the tune. That's the history of the tune. That's a lot of ways you can play the tune. So I hope you go off and have some fun with that. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much to everyone involved with Ethno World for putting this together and inviting me to teach you a tune. You can also grab one of my albums, and I'll be passing along the proceeds to these organizations as well if you want to do it that way. As you see in the comments here, the workshop will be available on Facebook after this, and the next session is with Luna on June 19th at 18 Central Time in Europe. So thank you so much for joining me. It was really fun to teach this tune to you, and have a great day. Bye.